Hey guys, I'm Adam Panisi and welcome to the Cascades in Kenmore. This project has been a 7-house development where we sold a lot of packages as house and land. I'm going to take you on a tour on one of these now. This is lot 7. This project is 7 houses. I retained the existing house. The whole site was about 4,500 square meters when I purchased it a number of years ago. It slopes from the road back down and it has these amazing views over to Mount Cootha. The Kenmore and the Cascades are about 8 k's west of Brisbane CBD, and I'll come and take you for a tour now. So this particular property, again, was designed by the same world-renowned architect. He loves designing these homes with funky features. This one has straight walls. This is the entrance, and what we did was design this property in such a way that it had dual aspects in terms of dual living, with a 1-bedroom granny flat at the front, which can double up either as an office or if you've got a family member, or if you can rent it out as a separate dwelling. So this is the granny flat entrance here. The main entrance is just behind us. So it's a 1-bedroom granny flat with a separate kitchen. So it's got a full kitchen in here. There's space for a washing machine. So a few of the homes have been designed like this. So double garage just in there. You come into the 1-bedroom granny flat. You got the 1 bedroom here, then the living. So it doubles as an office. It doubles if you've got parents that you're living with, or you can rent it out as a supplementary income. So you've got the 2nd master bedroom, which has its own ensuite in this room. Now, some of the design features of this property, we've got 2.5 meter ceilings here. I've tried to go 2.7 as much as I could. So you've got 2.5 meter ceilings here, so slightly higher than standard. All the doors are all 2400, so the standard door is 2100. So the granny flat is accessible to the master residence. So I did that on purpose where I could have a lockable door so that, again, you can rent it out separately or you can have it as part of your own home. So it gives multiple options to the people, either the purchasers or the people that are renting it. I like doing grand entrances, so having oversized doors. I didn't go silly with the door size in terms of I had it decent enough so you'd walk into this grand entrance, look at the staircase, and then it splays out onto this opening. So this was done in conjunction with the architect, Nigel Fitton, who developed the outside look of the property and then did a little bit of a collaboration with the inside. And then I personally tweaked some of these to get the maximum usage out of the space. So these homes are about 280 square meters. The build cost is quite substantial, but given how many kitchens and bathrooms we have, it was done at a very reasonable price, especially given the cost increases. So the kitchen, dining, living is in this space, and we're north facing with views out to Mount Cootha. So the dining space has enough room in it for an 8-seat table, so it would run lengthways. I like to position all of the furniture on floor plans to make sure that the furniture is going to fit. You got to also consider where your power points are, where your light switches are. So you got a light switch here, which controls that room. Then you got the master light switch, which controls kitchen and dining. So when you think about little intricate details like that, you got to be thinking about where you're going to be walking from and to access these light switches. So the living then opens out onto the deck. So I did double sliding doors. It would have been ideal not to have a post there, but to get rid of that post would have involved a much larger span and a lot more cost. So it wasn't worth doing in this instance. If it was a more luxury home, I probably would have elected to get rid of that post. So the kitchen, I like to do large kitchens where you can actually utilize the kitchen space. So you've got enough bench space to actually work on and cook. So you've got the sink, dishwasher directly beside the sink. There was a bit of a last-minute design change with this. Originally, the dishwasher was on the left-hand side, but it clashed with this walkway. So we actually repositioned it, slight variation. They're only talking about $500. And then you got the stove. So you think about the kitchen when you're in the kitchen working away or cooking. What are you accessing? You're accessing the sink, the fridge. You need to take stuff out of the fridge. It goes on the bench. That can be your prep area. You're going to be washing stuff. And then you're also going to be taking it over the stove to cook. So you've got to have these all within close proximity. You don't want to be walking from one end to the other. So then behind these doors is the walk-in pantry. So when they're closed, it just looks integrated with the rest of the kitchen. So I wanted that seamless look where it just looked like a normal pantry. And then obviously when you open it, and more likely than not, this will stay open most of the time with the owners, but if you got visitors, you just close it. And then I did a second sink in here. This is a higher end home and market that I'm targeting, so I wanted a walk-in pantry that had a sink in it. Obviously it's got overhead cupboards, and then there's a wine fridge to go in there later, and then it goes out onto the laundry and with door to outside, and then obviously clothesline out there. So that's behind the secret doors from the kitchen. So the reason why we had these steps coming down is actually the block slopes to the back, so it slopes to the rear. So what it means is that we've got the steps, there's a small retaining wall that runs through there, because remember that one bedroom granny flat, it actually sits behind this wall. So this runs down another metre or so, and then you've got these high 3.5 metre ceilings through here, because these are 2400 doors, so you can see the space beyond the doors. So it's about 3.5 metre ceilings out onto the deck. The deck is north facing, which makes a massive difference. You've got views over to Mount Cootha and the surrounds, and we're quite elevated here in overlooking the homes surrounding. So that's the downstairs area. I'll come and show you the upstairs. So you're up the stairs, the entrance, the granny flat there as well. And then we move up these stairs. So you got things like little simple things like these fixed windows, or that fixed window on the way up to the stair, letting more light in. So you got this cross light pattern. So this was a feature of what the architect implemented, but it's also a design consideration that when you're looking at a home on the plan, you've got to think about where is light coming into that home, and is there opportunity for dual and cross lighting. So you've got two windows directly beside the entrance, and then you've obviously got the window on the other sides. So the master, or the main kitchen dining living, is quite bright and light, and as is this space upstairs. So again, there's space to utilise a window. We did this nice light feature. Upstairs is the third living space, if you include the granny flat as well. So you got a nice small additional living space up here, and then the bedrooms flow off this living space. Where you can, and where I see design efficiencies, is when you're having to walk through a living space rather than having a hallway. If you can make that hallway into a central living space and have the bedrooms come off there, then you can utilize and maximize the space a lot better. So you got 4 bedrooms up here. That one's a little bit oversized. You got the central bathroom for the bedrooms. Now, just one feature with this bathroom, if you want to come and have a look, is because we were tight on space, the designers put the shower and the bathtub all in the one. So if you are tight on space, there is that design solution. We obviously don't have a toilet in there. The toilet is separate. Then we went with a black tapware as well. So then you got the other 2 bedrooms. So these are just normal size. With my bedrooms, I do a minimum of 3x3. These are just 3x3, as in 3 meters by 3 meters. And then you got a bit more for the doorway. That's the absolute minimum size I go with these homes, because there's enough space to still fit a queen. It's quite tight, but you can still utilize the area. And then obviously toilet behind me, separate basin. And then over to the master bedroom. It's oversized. It's got enough room to fit a king bed with the dual power points on either side, and then there's another point to stick your TV. You got heaps of light coming in. It's north facing, and then I like to have dual light. So you've got cross ventilation if you've got the windows open, and then also those multiple light sources so that it is nice and bright. And we're just after 12 o'clock, so it's going to be bright anyway, but you can see that this room is even more bright than if your house was, say, south facing. And then I love to do larger en-suites in properties, so have a luxurious ensuite, as we've done with this one. So we've done the bath, if there's enough space. Baths and bathrooms I love, even though nobody uses them, they look good. Double vanity so that you can have his and hers. And then also I love doing shave cabinets, because you store all your stuff above. It's actually quite annoying if you've ever had a shave cabinet and then having to go back to a normal vanity. It's actually much easier to store your stuff up here versus bending over. Maybe that's just me because I'm a bit taller. Maybe if you're a bit shorter, it's probably easier. And then I love to do double shower heads if the property was more luxurious, but we obviously couldn't fit any more than what we have in here with the bath. So the other design feature is that the bath flows out and you can oversee or overlook the view out to the bedroom and in the mountains. That's going to have some louvers there, so if you're having a bath or a shower, you can actually close it off. And then you got the master walk-in robe. I love big robes, so I make sure the master's bigger than every other bedroom and significantly bigger. So we even did an upgrade on the cabinetry, so timber look cabinetry. You got double shelves for his and hers, so whichever side he takes or she takes, she's probably going to take the bigger side. It's got more space, it's got the double hanging, Whereas, us poor guys, we get the smaller space because we don't have as many clothes. So that's the walk-in robe, and then that's a tour of the whole house. So in total, this house is 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. It's got that separable, lockable granny flat, and then it's got enough space in the kitchen, dining, living to, put a decent-sized lounge, kitchen table. So it's the absolute minimum that I would design for this type of market. So the price point here is about $1.5 million that we're targeting. So we're competing with quite high-end homes here in this area, but we're not trying to compete with those $2 million homes, which is kind of that next bracket where once you start getting up to that $2 million range, you're then competing with homes that are twice the size, but might be a little bit more dated.